Hey there, Brady here with your daily tennis lesson. So we're looking at success at the net this week at DTL. Today specifically, we're looking at positioning at the net. And I know positioning's not high on the excitement radar when it comes to learning, but if you feel like you're getting passed more often than you'd like when you're up at net, positioning most likely is the answer. So this is a super important lesson. All right, so we've already gone through approach shot this week. We've already knocked off the first volley, figured out what we need to do with that. So now in terms of positioning, we're looking at where that first volley took our opponent and what his options are at this point. So for example, if I take a good deep first volley to that corner and Mark's out there, I've got to look at one important idea. Where is Mark's ball going to cross the net? Because generally where it crosses the net is where I'm going to make contact on a volley, give or take a little bit. All right, so what are Mark's extremes? That's what I have to factor here. If he hit two perfect shots in opposite directions, one would be down the line and it literally kind of hits the sideline. The other would be cross court and almost gets to that sideline. So let's take that ball first. When it crossed the net, it only crossed the net right about here. So we got to remember, I don't have to chase the bounce now. So I'm going to be volleying that ball somewhere right about here, and that's his extreme shot. His net or his down the line ball crosses the net here. So for his extreme down the line, contact for me would be in this zone. So from where I started, I think you get the picture here, I don't need to go really far over to this side because my contact point for that cross-court ball is just up into the opposite half here. But that down-the-line ball is pretty far away from where I'm standing in terms of my contact point. So what I want to do is when I send Mark into that corner, I want to go slightly in his direction. So now I'm positioned basically halfway between his two extremes. And let's just hope he's not that good of a player that he keeps hitting these extremes perfectly. I'd have a pretty rough day at the office at that point. But this gives me the best chance by positioning, you know, let's be honest, I'm pretty much only a half to one step over from where I started. It's not like I'm going to go clamp down and just take in this far extreme and leave so much cross court. But I want the best possible chance to cover the most amount of court. So in this case, up inside about a half to a full step. And if Mark was in the backhand corner because I hit that first volley, you know, out here, I got to come in and position here. I'm now giving myself a pretty good chance to cover the down the line, and I definitely can still come back and cover that cross court ball. One little kind of idea that I love tacked on to this thought about following my tennis ball and covering his extremes is if your opponent happened to look up. Mark, go into that backhand corner for me real quick. If he happens to look up and sees me perfectly centered right here, I think your comfort level to go line would be really high. But the second I start inserting myself into this half, if he happens to look up, the view for him now is kind of swallowed up by my presence. I don't care if you're as tall as me or not. Once you start getting in the way of that hitter, you might very well sometimes just induce that unforced error from him. All right, so that's on the back end. A pretty cool thought is that we're just making our presence felt by going in the direction of where that first volley went. Okay, so positioning so key, gives you the best chance to go in, cover the most amount of court, and hopefully have some great success against a nice ground stroker like Mark in your matches, okay? And that's all we got for today. Hope that was super helpful. Please click like below this video. And if you have not subscribed to our channel yet, please do so. as well as check down below me in the description of this video. You'll find the link to 3 free courses Mark and I have put together. I think you'll find those really helpful as well. All right, so until next time, be well. We'll see you soon at Daily Tennis Lesson.